What a great group. And the winner is going to go to Knighton at 10:04.
At 17, he did what Bolt couldn't, and he's not even close to peaking yet. Erriyon Knighton ran the 100 meters in 10.04 seconds. Not even Usain Bolt, the fastest man alive, hit that time at Knighton's age. This teenager wasn't just breaking records, he was rewriting what we thought was humanly possible for a high school athlete. The date was April 16th, 2022. The place, Gainesville, Florida, and the moment, pure sprinting history. Most of the world missed it. There was no massive Olympic stage, no sold-out stadium, just a teenager on a track, lining up for what looked like another race. But when the gun went off, Erriyon Knighton exploded out of the blocks like a man possessed. By the time he crossed the finish line, the clock read 10.04 seconds. The track world had a new prodigy. To really understand why this matters, you need to know who Knighton is. Born in Tampa, Florida in 2004, he started out like a lot of American kids, with dreams of making it big in football. But speed was his superpower. It didn't take long before track coaches noticed he wasn't just fast, he was on another level. Knighton only began running track competitively in 2019. Let that sink in. In less than 3 years, he went from complete novice to one of the fastest teenagers in the world. That trajectory, it's almost unheard of, and it didn't stop with the 100 meters. Just 1 year earlier, he had already shattered Usain Bolt's U18 world best in the 200 meters with a jaw-dropping time of 20.11 seconds. A few months later, he went even faster, posting a 19.84, then a 19.69, and ultimately clocking a 19.49 at just 18 years old. That time ranks him as one of the fastest men in history over the 200 meters. Let's pause for a second. This isn't just teenage talent, this is generational. Knighton wasn't just competing against high schoolers, he was running times that rivaled seasoned pros and Olympic medalists. And yet he carried himself with a kind of quiet intensity. No flashy celebrations, no over-the-top media stunts, just business. When Knighton turned pro in 2021, it sent shockwaves through the high school and pro athletic scenes. Signing with Adidas at just 17 years old, he gave up his remaining high school eligibility to train full-time and chase greatness. For some, it was a bold move. For Knighton, it was the obvious next step. He wasn't here to participate. He was here to dominate. His debut on the world stage came at the 2021 U.S. Olympic Trials, where he did the unthinkable. He beat the reigning Olympic champion, Justin Gatlin, and qualified for the Tokyo Olympics. He was the youngest male athlete to represent the U.S. in track and field at the Games since Jim Erriyon in 1964. At the Olympics, he didn't just show up. He made the final in the 200 meters and finished fourth, barely missing the podium, but making a huge statement. He had arrived, and he wasn't going anywhere. In 2022, Knighton proved that Tokyo wasn't a fluke. At the World Athletic Championships, he ran a blazing 19.77 seconds in the 200 meters. That made him the youngest individual sprint medalist in World Championships history. Think about that, 17 years old and already one of the top 3 in the world. And then came Budapest, 2023. The stakes were higher, the field tougher, but Knighton leveled up again. This time, he claimed silver, finishing just behind the reigning champion, Noah Lyles. It was another podium, another medal, another step toward what's looking more and more like an all-time great career. So how does he do it? What makes Erriyon Knighton this good, this fast, this young? First, let's talk about his build. Knighton stands at 6 feet 3 inches tall for a sprinter, but he uses that height to his advantage. His stride length is insane, and once he hits top gear, it's like watching a gazelle in full flight. But he's not just legs. His start once a week point has improved drastically. Add in his efficiency, his discipline in training, and a laser-focused mindset, and you get the full picture. He trains with some of the best. His coaches keep his regimen tight, focused, and progressive. No burnout, no gimmicks, just steady, elite development. And that's what's so impressive. Most young stars flash and fade. Knighton keeps leveling up, but it's not just physical. Knighton's mental game is elite. He doesn't seem fazed by pressure, doesn't get caught up in the hype. In interviews, he speaks like someone 10 years older. Calm, confident, grounded. It's clear he's not just running fast, he's building a career. The comparisons to Bolt are inevitable. Both tall, both lightning fast over 200 meters, both global sensations as teenagers. But Knighton has his own path. He's carving out a legacy based not on who he reminds us of, but on who he is. And here's where it gets interesting. At 17, Bolt hadn't broken 10.20 in the 100 meters. Knighton went 10th of April. That doesn't make Knighton better yet, but it shows just how rare his talent really is. He's ahead of the curve in ways we've rarely seen. The sprinting world is watching. So are the brands, the broadcasters, the fans. But Knighton isn't rushing it. Every season, every race, he's getting better. He's not just chasing medals, he's chasing legacy. And the scariest part? He's still not done growing, still refining his form, still sharpening his skills. If this is what he can do at 17, imagine him at 21 or 25. The potential is limitless. Knighton represents more than just speed. He's a signal that a new generation is here, that greatness doesn't need to wait, and that records, no matter how iconic, are always meant to be broken. His journey has just begun, but it's already one of the most exciting stories in track and field. So if you haven't been paying attention, now's the time, because the next time Erriyon Knighton steps on the track, you might just witness the future of sprinting. If this story blew your mind, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. What record do you think Knighton will take down next?
Erriyon Knighton of Adidas, the Olympian. Erriyon Knighton, Dorian Campbell. Here comes Joseph Ambula of Florida.
Erriyon Knighton has just delivered the most earth-shattering performance in sprinting history, and what this 18-year-old phenom accomplished in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, has completely rewritten everything we thought we knew about human speed and sent shockwaves through the entire track and field world. The 19.49-second explosion that Knighton unleashed during the 2022 season opener represents more than just a personal best. It's a complete demolition of what experts believed was possible for someone his age, and the technical breakdown of how he achieved this superhuman feat reveals secrets that could revolutionize sprinting forever. What makes this performance absolutely mind-blowing isn't just the time itself, it's that Knighton obliterated Usain Bolt's former under-20 dominance and established himself as the fastest teenager in human history, all while displaying biomechanical perfection that puts seasoned Olympic champions to shame. His Achilles tendon length is the biggest thing that stands out about Erriyon Knighton. This is important because the better the Achilles tendon is, the better it can utilize elastic energy, the technical analysis reveals. We're not just talking about natural talent, we're talking about anatomical advantages that make him a genetic freak perfectly designed for speed. The science behind Knighton's explosive capability is absolutely staggering. Sprinting is the most elastic movement you can do, and training the Achilles tendon is very crucial. Knighton's natural Achilles tendon structure allows him to store and release energy like a human catapult, creating the elastic properties that separate world-class sprinters from everyone else. But Knighton's advantages extend far beyond just one anatomical feature. Athletes who are built to be taller, leaner, and more elastic like Erriyon Knighton are called pullers, and they excel in aspects like max velocity, sprinting, and speed endurance, the biomechanical breakdown explains. This explains why Knighton's strongest points are max velocity sprints and speed endurance, which is the second half of the race, making him perfectly built for the 200-meter distance where races are won and lost in the final 100 meters. But wait, there is more. The most shocking revelation about Knighton's training approach is how it completely defies conventional wisdom. He said he did the weight room, but it would hurt him sometimes, so he mainly ran. While other sprinters are grinding in gyms, Knighton built his world record speed primarily through running-specific training. He trained year-round and used to say, "If I was running and wasn't hurt, I would keep running." This shows that he has a great lactic threshold, which is key for speed endurance. The training plan that produced this 19.49 masterpiece reveals a systematic approach to speed development that most athletes never experience. Monday featured acceleration and max velocity combo work with a lot of sprints from 40 to 60 meters, high-quality sprint type of day with a lot of horizontal plyometrics. But the real secret weapon in Knighton's arsenal was his Friday speed endurance sessions. Something as simple as 300-meter sprints at max effort with 6 to 8 minute rest until he literally couldn't do another one. Most athletes would collapse after 2 or 3 of these brutal sessions, but Knighton's superior lactic threshold allowed him to complete multiple sets. Most people will do these sprints and be done after the second or third 300 meters because their lactic threshold is so weak, but Knighton's genetic advantages and training consistency created superhuman endurance capabilities that make him nearly unbeatable in the speed endurance phase. The technical breakdown of Knighton's race reveals biomechanical perfection that explains how an 18-year-old can run faster than 99.9% of professional athletes. His block start positioning shows his knee right under his hip, with his Achilles tendon loaded, creating the perfect power position for explosive acceleration. During the crucial acceleration phase, Knighton demonstrates flawless technique. His heel turning indicates that you are activating your glutes pretty well. If your heels don't turn in, you're probably lacking some type of internal hip rotation, and that can really hold you back. The internal hip rotation that Knighton displays is crucial for force production. When your knees cave in, that's where you see a lot of the top jumpers when they jump. Their knees come in at the contraction part of the phase. You want that, and when you get that, and you get a lot of good heel turn, you're pretty set up for some good glute contraction and some good force production. At max velocity, Knighton's form becomes absolutely perfect. He keeps his torso right above his hips, and he has a little bit of forward lean. He keeps a really strong core, so it's kind of like his core is flexed, and he stays above his center of mass. The arm action that generates Knighton's devastating speed defies what most people think they know about sprinting. The biggest part is driving it back, because when you drive your arms back, you activate the opposite glute. When you drive that arm back, it's basic biomechanics. But perhaps the most crucial element of Knighton's technique is something that can't be taught. The most important part is he's relaxed. While other sprinters are fighting against themselves, Knighton flows through his races with an effortless efficiency that makes world record speed look easy. The speed endurance phase, where Knighton separates himself from the field, showcases his mental mastery. You will fly if you relax more during the speed endurance instead of trying to force something, because you know that that you cannot run faster after 50 meters. It's all about who slows down the least. The journey that led to this 19.49 explosion is almost as incredible as the performance itself. Knighton initially was a football wide receiver in high school before his coach recognized his potential for speed. The transition from football to track represents one of the most successful sport switches in athletic history. His rapid ascent through the ranks was unprecedented. He went on to win AAU Junior Olympic titles in the 100 meters and 200 meters in the 15 to 16 age group, surpassing his peers and competitors in the 17 to 18 age group. Knighton wasn't just beating kids his own age, he was destroying older, more experienced runners. The decision to turn professional in 2021 proved to be genius. He signed a shoe sponsor and began training under University of Florida coach Mike Holloway. This professional environment accelerated his development and provided the resources necessary to chase world records. While the 19.49 time was not officially ratified by World Athletics, Knighton's official world under 20 record of 19.69 seconds still represents complete domination of his age group. He has lowered the under 20 standard previously held by Usain Bolt multiple times. Even Usain Bolt sees it. Erriyon Knighton is the future. After running a jaw-dropping 19.49 in the 200 meters at just 18 years old, Knighton didn't just post a fast time, he sent a message to the track world. The next generation is here, and it's coming for the record books. Still, just a few tenths off Bolt's legendary 19.19, Knighton's rise is nothing short of historic, and if he keeps progressing, we may be witnessing the birth of sprinting's next all-time great.
Too late! Knighton is leading the way! Teenager Erriyon Knighton is a national champion! 1974!
What if I told you a 19-year-old nearly beat the fastest man alive? In the 2023 World Championships, Erriyon Knighton, a teenager from the U.S., shocked the world by sprinting 200 meters in just 19.75 seconds. This isn't just fast. It's record-breaking, heart-racing, and almost unbelievable. Let's dive into how this young athlete did the impossible. Erriyon Knighton was born in Tampa, Florida in 2004. Like many kids, he played football, but people started noticing something different about him. He was fast, really fast. In high school, his speed was so amazing that coaches suggested he try track. When he did, everything changed. At just 16 years old, he turned professional. Most teens are still figuring out life. Erriyon, he was already running with the pros. What's even more amazing is how quickly he adapted. While most young runners take years to adjust to the pressure of big competitions, Knighton seemed completely unfazed. He ran with confidence, like someone who had been doing it for a decade. Reporters often asked him how he stayed so calm. His answer? He just focuses on running his race, not the people around him. Everyone knows Usain Bolt, the fastest man ever. But did you know Erriyon Knighton broke Bolt's records? When Knighton was under 18, he ran faster than Bolt did at the same age. At 17, he ran 19.84 seconds in the 200 meters. That was faster than Bolt at that age. At 18, he ran 19.69 seconds. People were shocked. Could this teen be the next big thing in sprinting?
The bend, and Knighton now into his running. Nina in pursuit. De Grasse with a lot of work to do. And Fambulla looks to be labouring. It really is all too easy. 1978.
And there's more. Knighton didn't just break youth records, he crushed them. Bolt's times had stood for years, and many believed no teenager could touch them. Then Erriyon came along and shattered those beliefs. It wasn't just a record-breaking moment, it was a message to the world. A new era was beginning. In 2022, Erriyon proved he wasn't just fast, he was world-class. At the World Championships, he faced some of the best runners on Earth. And guess what? He didn't just keep up, he won bronze in the 200-meter final. That made him the youngest person ever to win a medal in that event at a major world competition. He stood on the podium next to grown men, and he held his own. That race didn't just earn him a medal, it earned him respect. After the event, athletes and coaches from around the world praised him. Some even said he reminded them of a young Bolt, but with his own unique style. He didn't copy anyone. He created his own lane. If 2022 was impressive, 2023 was a shocker. This time, Erriyon came back stronger. At the World Championships in Budapest, he faced Noah Lyles, the reigning champion. Knighton ran 200 meters in 19.75 seconds, earning silver. He wasn't just a teenager anymore. He was nearly the best in the world. People couldn't believe it. A 19-year-old beating almost everyone in the biggest race of the year. It's not just about winning a medal. It's about how he raced. Knighton had a slow start but exploded around the curve, catching up to some of the fastest men alive. His stride was long, smooth, and powerful. For a moment, it looked like he might take gold, and even though he finished second, fans knew they were witnessing something special. Before the world stage, Erriyon proved himself in the U.S. In 2023, he became the U.S. 200-meter champion by running 19.72 seconds. That's blazing fast. It showed he could beat the top American sprinters and be a national star. He wasn't just winning, he was dominating. Knighton holds the world under-18 best in the 200 meters of 19.84 seconds, set on June 27, 2021, and World U20 record with a time of 19.69 seconds, set on June 26, 2022. What's wild is that Knighton doesn't show off. After races, he doesn't scream or dance. He just nods, smiles a little, and walks off. It's all business. That calm, focused attitude makes him even more dangerous on the track. Lots of athletes have one great race, but Erriyon, he's fast all the time. Since he started running professionally, he's had multiple races under 20 seconds. In fact, he holds the 12th fastest 200-meter times for any runner under age 20. That's not luck. That's talent, training, and focus. And his coach says Erriyon is still learning. That's the scary part. He's already elite, but he hasn't reached his peak. He's building strength, refining his technique, and gaining experience. If he's this good now, what happens when he hits his prime?